Hi, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Laurel. I'm Laurel, and in today's video, we're going to look at factoring trinomials. I'm going to get a little bit technical with some terminology to start with, because there are two types of trinomials that we're going to factor. The first one is when the leading coefficient is equal to 1. So leading means the first. So if you were to put this in descending order of the degrees, so the x squared term needs to be first, then the x term, and then the constant. So this is the leading term. When the coefficient of this leading term is equal to 1, in other words, there is no coefficient when it's equal to 1, then the process is a little bit different than if I had a trinomial whose leading coefficient was some other number other than 1. So let's take a look at this type first, when the leading coefficient is equal to 1. And what you're going to do to find the factors for this trinomial is you look at the last term, the constant in this case, and you're going to look for two numbers that multiply to give you 6. So it could be 6 and 1, it could be 2 and 3, it could be -6 and -1, -2 and -3. So there's often a number of possibilities of what those are. But the other condition is then you look at this middle number, the coefficient that goes with your x term in this case, and that you want your two numbers to add up to equal this number. So you're looking for two numbers that multiply to equal 6 and add to equal 5. So you might know the answers right away. When your numbers get larger and get a little more complicated, then you might want to write down what all of the factors are. So you might want to say, well, 6 has a factors of 2 and 3, 1 and 6. And you can notice right away that 2 plus 3 add up to 5. So these are the two factors I want. And because everything is positive, that means that all of the signs in our factors are going to be positive. So my factors are simply going to be x plus 2 times x plus 3. And very easy to check whether that's correct by multiplying these two binomials and make sure you get back. We can do it quickly without writing it down. X times x is x squared. X times 3x, so then we have plus 3x, plus 2x gives me the 5x plus 6. Let's take a look at another one. You might go, whoa, Laurel, this leading coefficient is not 1. You are correct. However, our first step in factoring any kind of expression should be to look to see if we have a common factor in every term. And we do in this case, it's a factor of 2. So I'm going to factor that out, which makes any further factoring much easier. So I'm going to factor the 2 out. And when I factor it out, I'll be left with 2 times t squared minus t minus 6. Now this is a trinomial whose leading coefficient is a 1. So I can use my method. I'm going to look for two numbers that multiply to equal a -6 and who add to give me a -1. So again, I can list the different factors, so we know that because we're multiplying to get a -6, we have 1 and -6, but they don't add to equal -1. I can change them and put -1 and +6. That doesn't work. I can go -2 and +3. They multiply to equal -6, but they add to equal a +1, not a -1. So my last option would be a positive 2 and negative 3. Those two numbers multiply to equal negative 6. They add to equal negative 1. So those are going to be the numbers in my factor. So the first factor we can put as t plus 2. So if it's positive, then it will be a plus here. And then the negative 3, so it will be t minus 3. And now I've totally factored that. Again, we can check. Let's just do this first part. So if I were to multiply this binomial to this binomial, I'm going to get t times t is t squared. Minus 3t plus 2t gives me minus 1t minus 6. So we can see that part's correct. And then when we multiply by 2, we get back to the very original question. So always factor out anything common first, whatever type of factoring you're doing. And then if you end up with a trinomial, a polynomial with 3 terms, and the leading coefficient is 1, you use this process. Let's take a look at a couple of other situations you may encounter. All right, in this example, you're going to see more than one letter, and you will often be asked to factor expressions that do have more than one variable in them. So I've got p and I've got q, and this term, it's the p is squared, this term, the q is squared, and my middle term has a p and a q. So I'm going to do this question the same way I did the last two examples, but just realize that I need that variable q on my second term in both binomials as well. So I will do this as the way I would do it, and hopefully you can follow that, and then you'll see why I did it the way that I did it. So again, we look to see if we can find two numbers that multiply to equal 50 and add to equal 15. So the larger the last coefficient is, and the more factors it has, it takes a little bit more time to possibly find the numbers. I'm just going to tell you what the numbers are. You might notice them already, but 5 and 10 multiply to equal 50 and add to equal 15. So you could break them both 50 down into its prime factors and then try a bunch of combinations, but I want to illustrate this example, so I'm just going to tell you what the two numbers are. So now I'm going to set up my factors. It will be p plus 5, but remember we have a q there. The other factor is p plus 10q. Let's check by multiplying these two out. P times p is p squared. When I multiply these two, I get 10pq plus, when I multiply here, I have 5pq, so 10pq plus 5pq is 15pq, plus 5q times 10q is 50q squared. So be aware that you may have a variable at the front and at the back, and then a combination of those two in the middle. So be prepared to handle that type of question as well. Sometimes in the questions that you're asked to factor, you'll have your first term won't be squared, it will have a higher power, but it will be even, which means you can write it as something squared. So we want to think of x to the fourth as x squared squared. And then notice that we have that x squared in this term. So this is just like a y and a y here. You're just going to have that higher power of x in your factors. So we go through the same process as we did before, and you don't have to write it like this. I'm just hoping that you can understand that as long as whatever this is squared, that same thing is in your middle term, then you'll be fine for factoring. So in this case, I'm going to show you, I mentioned in the last example about prime factorization. When your last number, you're looking for numbers that multiply to equal this, where you might want to do prime factorization to help you find those numbers. Prime factorization is simply breaking down that number into all the prime factors. So this is equal to 2 times 12. 2 is a prime number, 12 is not, so we break that down. That's equal to 2 times 6. 2 is a prime number, 6 isn't, so we break it down. 6 is equal to 2 times 3. All of these are prime numbers, so 24 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. When you break it down, then you can start picking numbers. So we've got, for example, 2 and 12, 4 times 6, 8 times 3. It just helps you see all the different factors. So again, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to equal 24 and add to equal 10 of those options that I mentioned. If I take a 4 and a 6, they multiply to equal 24. They add to equal 10. So those are the two numbers out of all the different options I had when you look at the prime factorizations. So the factors will be, instead of it just being an x, now it's x squared plus 4 and x squared plus 6. Again, we can do a quick check to make sure that our factoring is correct by multiplying this to this. So x squared times x squared is indeed x to the 4th. X squared times 6 is 6x squared plus 4x squared gives me the 10x squared, and 4 times 6 is 24. So I can see that that is correct. When we get into trinomials that have a leading coefficient that's not equal to 1, then we have a little bit trickier process in factoring. But before we move on to those, I would recommend that you do some practice with this type of trinomial and make sure that you understand what you're doing before we move on to the next type. And I'm going to do that in the next video. So practice, and we'll see you in the next video.